All right, get ready because today we're going to really dig into Squarespace SEO.
Ooh, exciting.
We've got a ton of great advice and insights from Tiny Coast Digital.
They know their stuff.
They really do. They're pros in Squarespace design and SEO, and we're going to break it all down. So if you're listening, you probably have a Squarespace site.
Yeah, we're thinking about getting one.
Right, and you want more people to find it.
Definitely. More visitors?
Yes, and better rankings on Google. So let's find out how.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
So one of the first things that jumped out at me from Tiny Coast Digital is how important user intent is.
Yeah, it's not just about keywords anymore.
No, it's more than that.
It's like figuring out what your audience actually wants. Like, what are they really looking for?
Okay, I like that. So instead of just focusing on keywords, we're talking about understanding what our audience actually needs and wants.
Exactly.
Which is kind of a big shift in how we think about SEO.
It is.
So how do we actually do that? How do we figure out user intent?
Well, they talk about something called the jobs to be done framework.
Okay, that sounds kind of jargony.
Right. But it's actually pretty simple.
Break down for me.
So instead of obsessing over specific keywords, you focus on the underlying tasks or needs that users are trying to fulfill.
Okay.
So let's say you're a photographer
Okay, I like this example.
and you specialize in family portraits.
Right.
Now, you could just target those obvious keywords, right? Like family photographer.
Yeah.
But if you dig a little deeper, you might find that your ideal client is actually a busy parent,
I can relate to that.
right? Who wants to capture those like fleeting moments of childhood, but they're overwhelmed by the thought of like actually organizing a photo shoot.
Yeah, it can be a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
So instead of just saying, hey, I'm a photographer, you can tailor your content to address those specific needs and anxieties. You know, highlight how your approach is super stress-free and how you're amazing at capturing those genuine, candid moments.
So you're not just selling photography, you're selling peace of mind.
Exactly. You're solving a problem.
I like it. Makes sense.
And you know, it's interesting.
What's that?
Tiny Coast Digital, they actually started out offering a whole bunch of different services.
Okay.
But they found that focusing specifically on Squarespace helped them find their ideal clients
Interesting.
because they realized people choosing Squarespace are often looking for ease of use and a platform that really lets their creativity shine.
It's so true. That's why I love Squarespace.
Right.
It's user-friendly, and you can make your site look really amazing without needing to know how to code.
Yeah, exactly. And it highlights this important point they make. Focusing on a specific platform or niche can actually be more effective than trying to be everything to everyone.
Makes sense. So you become like the go-to expert for a particular audience.
Yeah, and that can be super powerful.
Okay, so knitting down. Got it. Now, what about establishing ourselves as experts, How do we show Google and our audience that we really know our stuff?
All right, well, Tiny Coast Digital has a strategy for this. It involves something called pillar pages and content clusters.
I've heard of those terms, but I'm not sure I totally understand them.
Yeah, they can sound a little jargony,
I do.
but the concept is pretty simple. So imagine a pillar page as the foundation of a house.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
It's this comprehensive resource about one big, broad topic.
All right.
So sticking with our photographer example, your pillar page could be all about creating timeless family portraits.
Nice.
Right.
So what are the content clusters then?
Think of them as the rooms in your house.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
They're connected to that main foundation, the pillar page.
Yeah.
And each one delves into a specific subtopic related to it.
Gotcha.
So for example, you might have content clusters on things like choosing the perfect location or wardrobe styling tips.
Okay.
Maybe even posing ideas for natural family photos or preserving your memories, albums and prints.
Oh, I like that. So you're basically creating this web of content all stemming from that main pillar page.
Exactly. And this does a few things. First, it gives your audience a ton of valuable information.
Makes you look like an expert.
Right. And Google loves this.
Google likes it when you have a lot of content.
Well, not just any content. It has to be high quality and well organized, like this pillar page and content cluster strategy.
Okay.
And it also has to demonstrate your expertise. Have you heard of EEAT? It stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness.
Right. I think I read about that somewhere.
Yeah, it's basically how Google judges how trustworthy and authoritative your website is. And pillar pages with all those content clusters can really help boost your EET signals.
So it's not just about creating a ton of random content, it's about strategically structuring it.
Exactly. And you know what's interesting? This actually ties into another important thing Tiny Coast Digital talks about, brand building.
Okay, now that's something I'm really curious about.
Yeah.
Because I always thought SEO was all about, keywords and technical stuff, but I'm hearing more and more about how important brand is.
It's becoming super important.
So how does brand actually fit into SEO?
Well, think about it. In today's digital world, everyone's competing for attention.
Yeah, it's noisy out there.
Right. And a strong brand helps you cut through that noise.
Stand out.
Yeah, stand out. And build trust.
Okay, I get that. But how do we actually do it? How do we build a strong brand online?
Well, remember how we talked about understanding your ideal client's needs?
Yeah.
Your brand is what communicates your values, your personality. What makes you different is what makes you memorable.
So it's kind of like your online personality.
Yeah, exactly. And Tiny Coast Digital says even if you don't rank for those super competitive general terms, having a strong brand helps people find you when they're specifically looking for you.
That makes sense.
Think about it. If someone heard about you from a friend or saw your work on social media, they're more likely to search for your specific name or business.
Right, they already know about you.
Yeah. And if you have a solid brand presence online, your website's going to be right there at the top.
Okay, that's smart. So even if you're not at the very top for like family photographer, people who are interested in you specifically can still find you.
Exactly. It's like a safety net.
I like that.
And there are other benefits too, like managing your online reputation, building credibility.
Yeah.
And ultimately converting those visitors into loyal clients.
Wow, so brand building really does go hand in hand with SEO.
They're like best friends.
Not separate at all. It's all part of creating a website that attracts the right people and makes them want to stick around.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of making your website more engaging, Tiny Coast Digital has a surprising tip. Video content.
Really? Video? I thought that was more of a social media thing.
Yeah, a lot of people think that. But video can be a really powerful SEO tool.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, first of all, it keeps people on your website longer.
Okay.
And Google loves that.
Google likes it when people stay on websites.
Yeah, it signals to them that your content is valuable and engaging.
So longer visit times, good for SEO.
Exactly. Plus, video lets you connect with your audience on a much more personal level. It builds trust, it shows your personality.
I guess that makes sense. It's way easier to connect with someone when you can actually see and hear them.
Right. Think about it this way. Let's say you're trying to learn something new,
Okay.
like how to change a bike tire.
Good example.
Would you rather read a long, boring article or watch a quick video showing you how to do it?
Video for sure. I'm a visual learner.
Most people are. And that's why Tiny Coast Digital says their video guides actually rank higher than their written content sometimes.
Really? Interesting.
People are drawn to video, and Google knows that.
So video is good for SEO. Got it.
Yeah.
But do you need, fancy equipment and editing skills?
Not at all. Tiny Coast Digital recommends using easy tools like v.io and Canva.
Oh, I love Canva.
Right? It's super user-friendly. You don't need Spielberg to make engaging video content.
That's good to know. Okay, so I'm definitely seeing the appeal of adding more videos to my site, especially if it helps my SEO and I can connect with people better.
Exactly. And another great thing about video, it's so versatile. You can repurpose it on social media, in blog posts, even in podcasts.
That's a great point. Okay, video content check. But what about those blog posts you mentioned? And other written content, how do we make sure that stuff is optimized?
Good question. That's where on-page SEO comes in.
Right, on-page SEO. I hear that term a lot, but I'm not really sure what it means.
So basically, it's all about making sure Google knows exactly what your pages are about. Like you're speaking their language.
So does that mean just stuffing the page with keywords?
It's a little more nuanced than that.
Okay, good.
You want to use keywords naturally. But Tiny Coast Digital uses a good example.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine a gluten-free bakery in NYC. Instead of just using a vague header like delicious treats, which doesn't really tell Google anything specific,
Right.
you'd use something more descriptive and keyword-rich, like NYC's best gluten-free bakery.
Okay, so it's about finding that balance, writing for humans, but also giving Google those clear signals.
Exactly.
So it's not just about the headers. I'm guessing this on-page SEO stuff applies to the whole website.
Yep, your page titles, descriptions, how you structure your content, everything. And Tiny Coast Digital actually has a checklist of all the on-page SEO elements to focus on.
Ooh, Ooh, I'm going to need that checklist.
You got it. It's worth it, though, because getting those elements right can make a huge difference in how your site shows up in search results.
All right, challenge accepted. I'm ready to tackle on-page SEO. But before we get too deep into the technical stuff, let's talk about something I've been meaning to ask you about.
Okay.
Google Search Console.
Ah, yes. Google Search Console. Essential tool.
Is.
It's like your backstage pass to understanding how Google sees your site. You can see which keywords are bringing you traffic, which pages are getting clicked on the most, all sorts of data.
So it's not just about like looking at numbers. We can actually use this data to improve our SEO.
Absolutely. You can submit new pages for indexing, find any issues that might be hurting your rankings, even check how mobile-friendly your site is.
That sounds pretty powerful. I have a confession.
What's that?
I haven't actually set up a Google Search Console yet.
You're not alone. A lot of people, especially new Squarespace users, overlook it. But TinyCoast Digital says it's crucial. Like one of the first things you should do.
Okay, I'm convinced Google Search Console is at the top of my to-do list now. So while we're talking about making our sites more visible, both to Google and actual humans, let's talk about internal linking.
Ah, yes, internal linking.
I've heard of it, but I'm not really sure I understand what it is or why it matters.
It's basically just linking to other pages within your own website.
Okay, so instead of linking to external websites, you're creating these little pathways between your own pages.
Exactly.
But why is that important?
Well, it helps both users and search engines. It helps them understand how your site is structured and how different pieces of content are related. Think of it like creating a roadmap for your visitors.
Okay.
It guides them through your content in a logical and engaging way.
I see. So if I'm reading a log post about, let's say, wedding photography tips, and there's a link to another post about choosing the perfect venue, that's actually helpful. It keeps me on the site longer.
Exactly. And from Google's perspective, those internal links help spread what we call link juice.
Link juice. That sounds interesting.
It's a fancy way of saying it helps share the authority and ranking power of your pages.
Ah, so it's good for both humans and Google. Got it. Now, I know a lot of people listening probably offer a variety of services or products. TinyCoast Digital had some advice for them.
Yeah, they're really big on this one. They say, don't just lump everything onto a generic services page.
Right.
Create a separate page for each offering.
Okay, but why? Why is that so important?
Well, first of all, it's way less overwhelming for visitors. They can find exactly what they're looking for. But it also helps with SEO.
How so?
When you have a dedicated page for each offering, you can really optimize it for those specific keywords related to that service or product.
Okay, so instead of trying to stuff every single keyword onto one page, we're creating these laser-focused pages that target, like, very specific searches.
Precisely. Google loves that. It makes it super clear what each page is about. Plus, it makes for a better user experience.
Makes sense. It's all about making things easy and intuitive for people.
And that's something TinyCoast Digital really stresses. They say a well-structured website with clear navigation and focused content is key for both SEO and converting visitors into customers.
Yeah, because happy visitors are more likely to become happy clients.
Exactly. And they have a great example to back this up.
Oh, yeah.
They rank on the first page of Google for Content Marketing Vancouver.
Wow.
And that's all thanks to a dedicated page for that service.
That's impressive. Okay, so dedicated pages. Got it.
Yep.
Now, since we're talking about targeting specific audiences, let's talk about local SEO.
Ah, yes. Local SEO. Crucial for any business with a physical location.
So it's about making sure people in your neighborhood can actually find you.
Precisely. Think about it. How many times have you searched for something like best coffee shop near me or plumbers in your city?
All the time. So how do we make sure our Squarespace sites show up in those local searches?
It starts with understanding how people search for local businesses. They usually use keywords that include their city, neighborhood, even landmarks sometimes.
So our NYC bakery example from earlier, instead of just targeting bakery, they would want to target something like bakery in Manhattan or bakery near Central Park.
Exactly. You know that big fish, small pond idea we were talking about?
Yeah, niching down.
Well, targeting those local keywords can be way less competitive than going after those broader terms.
So you have a better chance of ranking higher and actually attracting customers in your area.
Precisely. And local SEO isn't just about keywords. It's about optimizing your Google My Business profile, getting listed in online directories, and encouraging customer reviews.
Okay, so it's about really establishing your presence in your local community.
Exactly. Now, speaking of making your site more visible, I want to come back to internal linking for a sec. Tiny Coast Digital has some great strategies for maximizing its impact.
Okay, lay 'em on me.
They say, think of internal linking like weaving a web.
A web of content.
Yeah, each page links to other relevant pages on your site.
Yeah.
Creates a flow for users and for search engines.
Okay.
And there are a few things to remember.
Hit me.
First, use what we call descriptive anchor text.
Okay. What's that?
So instead of just saying, click here or read more,
Which I do all the time.
use text that actually describes what's on the page you're linking to. Like if you're linking to a blog post about, say, 5 tips for choosing the right wedding photographer, your anchor text should be 5 tips for choosing the right wedding photographer.
So it's like giving a little preview of what to expect.
Exactly. Second, make sure you're only linking to stuff that's actually relevant.
Right. Don't just jam in links for no reason.
And finally, think about the structure of your site. Tiny Coast Digital recommends thinking of your content in a hierarchy. The most important pages, like your homepage or your main service pages, should have the most internal links pointing to them.
Okay, so it's like highlighting the key destinations on your site.
Exactly. And speaking of structuring your site effectively, remember those dedicated pages Tiny Coast Digital talked about?
Yeah, one for each service or product?
They have a lot to say about how to make those pages really work for you.
Okay, I'm all ears.
They say don't just list your services or products, give people the information they need. Answer common questions, highlight the unique benefits you offer.
So it's kind of like creating a mini website for each service or product with all the info a potential client would want.
Exactly. And tailor the content to those specific jobs your ideal client is trying to accomplish. Remember the jobs to be done framework.
Oh yeah, we talked about that earlier.
It all comes together.
So like if I'm a web designer specializing in Squarespace SEO, I wouldn't just list the features of my services. I'd talk about how I can help my clients attract more traffic, rank higher, get more customers.
Exactly. You're speaking directly to their needs and their desires, not just throwing out features.
And don't forget social proof.
Ah, yes. Testimonials, case studies, that sort of thing.
Super important for building trust.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
People want to see that others have had good experiences with you before they take the plunge themselves.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. User intent, brand building, video content, on-page SEO, dedicated pages. It's a lot to take in.
It is a lot, but it's all connected, and it's all about creating a Squarespace site that both humans and search engines will love.
Well said. Now, we can't forget about one crucial thing. Website speed.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
I know it's important for user experience, but I didn't realize it actually affects SEO too.
It does, it does. Google has actually said that page speed is a ranking factor.
Really? So faster websites rank higher?
Yep, it's all about that user experience. Google wants to make sure people have the best possible experience when they're searching, and that means getting them to sites that load quickly.
Makes sense. I hate waiting for slow websites.
No one does. And studies show that even a tiny delay, like just 1 second, can cause people to leave.
So a slow website can actually cost you customers.
It can. So how do we make our Squarespace sites faster? Tiny Coast Digital has some tips for that.
Okay, I'm ready.
First up, image optimization.
Okay, I've heard of that, but I'm not really sure what it means.
It's about finding the right balance between image quality and file size. You want your images to look good, but you don't want them to be so big that they slow down your site.
So how do we do that?
There are actually a lot of easy-to-use tools for image compression.
Compression.
Yeah, it basically reduces the file size without making the image quality noticeably worse.
Oh, okay. I'm starting to see how every little thing we do on our website can impact SEO.
It's all connected.
Now, while we're talking about the technical stuff, let's talk about mobile optimization.
So important these days.
Yeah, I know my site needs to look good on phones, but I didn't realize it's an SEO thing too.
It is. It's huge. Google actually uses what's called a mobile-first indexing approach now.
What does that mean?
It means they mostly use the mobile version of your site to determine your rankings.
So even if my site looks perfect on desktop, if it's not optimized for mobile, it could hurt my SEO.
Yep, that's why mobile optimization is so essential these days. Luckily, Squarespace makes it pretty easy to build mobile-friendly sites.
Responsive design.
It basically means your website automatically adjusts to different screen sizes.
Ah, so it looks good on a phone, a tablet, a laptop, no matter what.
Exactly. And most Squarespace templates are responsive by default, but it's always good to double-check.
Okay, I'll make sure to test my site on different devices. What about touch-friendly navigation?
It's all about making it easy for people to use your website on a touchscreen. Make the buttons big enough to tap easily and space things out so it's not too cramped.
Right, because nothing is more frustrating than trying to tap on a tiny little button on your phone.
And of course, fast loading times are crucial on mobile.
So all that stuff we talked about earlier about image optimization and fonts, it applies to mobile too.
Big time. Mobile optimization is a must-have for good SEO.
Okay, mobile optimization, check. I'm feeling good about this. It's like we're putting together all the pieces of the SEO puzzle.
We are. It's all about taking a holistic approach.
Good user experience, high quality content, mobile optimization, all that stuff matters across the board. I want to talk about something we touched on briefly before.
Okay, what's that?
AI.
Ah, yes, the future of everything.
It feels like it. How do we adapt our SEO strategy for the age of AI?
Tiny Coast Digital says that understanding how AI works is going to be super important.
Okay, in what way?
Well, think about it. AI-powered platforms like ChatGPT are already changing how we create content,
They're amazing. I use ChatGPT all the time.
and they're only going to become more sophisticated.
Okay, but how does this affect SEO specifically?
Well, AI is really good at processing information and understanding language.
Right.
So we need to start thinking about how to make our content appealing to AI algorithms as well as to humans.
So it's not just about keywords anymore.
It's still about keywords, but it's also about using more natural language, focusing on semantic relevance, basically making sure AI can understand what our content is about.
So we need to learn how to talk to robots now.
In a way, yes. It's a big shift in thinking.
But it sounds exciting too. Like AI could help us do SEO more efficiently and maybe even uncover new strategies.
That's the idea. And Tiny Coast Digital emphasizes that AI isn't here to replace us. It's here to help us.
Make us better.
Exactly. So don't be scared of the robots.
Okay, I won't. I'm actually pretty excited about the possibilities. Now, since we're talking about new technologies, let's talk about voice search.
Yes. Voice search. Another big one.
People are using Alexa and Siri to search for everything these days.
All the time. And that means we need to make sure our Squarespace sites are optimized for it.
So do we need, like, different content for voice search?
Not really. A lot of the basic SEO principles we've already talked about still apply.
So user intent, good content, mobile friendliness, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. But voice search does have its own quirks. For one thing, voice searches tend to be longer and more conversational.
That's true. I wouldn't type, "Hey, Google, find me a coffee shop near me that's open now," into the search bar.
Right. So when you're optimizing for voice search, think about how people actually talk. Use natural language, target those longer, more specific keywords,
Okay.
and make sure you're giving clear and concise answers to common questions. Because people want those quick, direct answers with voice search.
Makes sense. And you know what else is super important for voice search?
What's that?
Local SEO.
Ah, yes. You got it.
Because people are always using voice search to find places near them.
Right. Find me a pizza place near me.
Mm.
What are the best restaurants in my area? It's all about location, location, location.
So if my Squarespace site is optimized for local SEO, I'm already one step ahead of the game when it comes to voice search.
Exactly. It's all connected.
Okay, local SEO, voice search. We've covered so much today.
We-
Just about what my website looks like, but also how it feels, like the overall tone and voice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you playful and funny in your writing? Or are you more formal and professional? Do you use a lot of storytelling? Or are you more data-driven?
I think it's about finding that balance, being professional, but also letting your personality come through.
Exactly. And you know what's cool? This ties back to brand building.
Ah, there it is again.
Yeah.
Everything seems to connect back to brand.
It does. It does. Because your brand is what makes you stand out.
It's what makes you unique.
And your website is one of the best ways to show people what your brand is all about.
So it's not just about having a pretty website. It's about telling your story, connecting with your audience, making them want to learn more about you.
Exactly.
I think this has been a really amazing deep dive into Squarespace SEO.
It has been.
We've learned so much from Tiny Coast Digital, and I hope everyone listening feels more confident about taking control of their SEO.
Me too. And don't forget, Tiny Coast Digital has tons of resources on their website.
Oh yeah, guides, checklists, even courses.
They've got you covered.
So if you want to learn more and really take your SEO to the next level, be sure to check out their site.
Absolutely.
And remember what we talked about today. Don't be afraid to experiment. And most importantly, have fun with it.
That's the best advice.
Happy optimizing, everyone.